In recent years, public executions have seen a disturbing resurgence, particularly in authoritarian regimes. These events are often staged in crowded public squares, serving as a stark reminder of state power. According to Amnesty International, at least 28 countries carried out executions in 2022, with a significant portion being public. This trend reflects a deliberate strategy to instill fear and assert control over populations. Public executions are not a new phenomenon. Historically, they were used as tools of social control dating back to medieval times. The split-screen comparison between medieval and modern executions reveals striking similarities in crowd dynamics and state motivations. This regression raises questions about the cyclical nature of authoritarian practices and their persistence in the modern era. Modern public executions are often orchestrated as political theater. Governments use these spectacles to project strength and suppress dissent. Propaganda materials such as posters and state media broadcasts are employed to amplify the message. This shift from secrecy to spectacle underscores the strategic use of fear as a governance tool in contemporary authoritarian regimes. The role of social media in amplifying public executions cannot be overlooked. Viral footage of these events spreads rapidly, fueling fear and polarization. Platforms like Twitter and YouTube become battlegrounds for differing opinions, while the graphic content desensitizes viewers. This modern twist on historical crowd psychology highlights the intersection of technology and state control. Public opinion on executions is deeply divided. Surveys reveal significant support in certain demographics, often driven by perceptions of justice and retribution. However, these views are not universal, leading to societal fractures. Protests and clashes between proponents and opponents of capital punishment illustrate the complex ethical and moral debates surrounding this issue. The international community has strongly condemned the rise in public executions. NGOs and foreign governments have labeled these practices as gross human rights violations. United Nations meetings and sanctions documents reflect global efforts to pressure offending regimes. This international backlash contrasts sharply with local support, highlighting the global divide on the issue. The psychological impact of public executions is profound, particularly on children and vulnerable populations. Witnessing such violence can lead to long-term trauma and desensitization. Studies indicate that exposure to violent imagery can alter perceptions of morality and justice, raising concerns about the societal consequences of these spectacles. Authoritarian regimes often manipulate legal systems to legitimize public executions. Judges sign warrants based on twisted interpretations of the law, while state-controlled media frames these acts as necessary for maintaining order. This systemic manipulation exposes the fragile veneer of legality that masks the true nature of these brutal practices. Public executions often lead to cycles of escalating violence. Insurgent groups may retaliate, resulting in bombings and armed clashes. This self-perpetuating cycle of violence destabilizes regions and undermines any claims of restoring order. The long-term consequences of these actions pose significant risks to global security and peace. The future of public executions remains uncertain. Will this trend continue to spread, or will it face growing resistance? The path forward is fraught with challenges, as both state power and global activism play critical roles. The question of whether humanity will revert to darker practices or move toward greater justice and human rights remains unanswered.